Celeste Solum is a former FEMA employee and researcher specializing in nanotechnology and synthetic biology, exposing information better than anyone I've seen thus far, and that is not an exaggeration. We cover nanotechnology in detail, exposing the plan of the globalists that surpasses anything we may have understood about this agenda before. This is a plan to completely replace all forms of biological life with synthetic biology, and Celeste details the ways in which the globalists are doing it.
So I was at an unveiling of a for transhumanism for the military in 2018. And basically, it was coming out at that time that so they moved up the timeline first from 2030 to 2025. And what they wanted is any natural born humans created in the divine image of God, natural, would have to be depopulated by 2025. And they are pretty on target. I do not believe, given my faith, I believe that there will be a remnant, but they are going to make great strides, and they are bringing on the new humans. The new humans began coming forth from the vaccinated parents. And soon they won't even use a human to gestate. Everything, according to the United Nations mandate, there can be nothing from nature, not even reproduction. So that will have to be done in a laboratory. That's why we're seeing things like artificial wombs and that type of thing.
Yes, I was just about to say, we've seen those videos of hundreds upon hundreds of pods where babies are growing inside of
Yeah.
them. More and more articles coming out saying that fertility's dropping, and of course, this is by design. Less and less women are able to have children. Men aren't fertile like they used to be. It's affecting both genders, of which there are only two. When you say that the new human essentially was made possible through the vaccines, are you talking about the COVID injections specifically?
Yes, specifically. Of course, it can be now. Those platforms are in everything. It was aerosolized. Sorry, it's allergy season here.
That's all right.
And it's in the food. The World Economic Forum said in the third week of January 2021 that they were going to put the the platforms, which is like the Moderna, the mRNA, and various other platforms, into the entire food supply by the end of 2021. In December, they came out and said that that had been accomplished. So the only time that you're not getting those platforms is if you grow something that's heirloom organic on your own property. And even then, it's going to have some synthetic biology and nanoparticles from the air and also the water.
Are you aware of who is actually responsible for the geoengineering and what they're spraying in the skies?
I followed the geoengineering for a long time. So I lived in Washington State, and the first planes came out in the 1990s, and there were they would drop different things. People would get the chemtrail flu, and then there were the spider webs, and then it progressed to the like dark carbon, almost a shadow type of a trail. There's all sorts of things in it, including the smart dust and nanoparticles. And there's blood and pathogens. There's all sorts of things in there. So facing us is an existential threat of annihilation of all biological life as we know it, and it's called synthetic biology. And I want to bring some clarity to this matter so that you can make some wise decisions. This decision for the synthetic biology was actually made at Asilomar in California in 1975 to genetically modify all life on Earth. And so they would use synthetic biology. The only media to cover that event was Rolling Stone magazine. And as you can see from their cover, you idiots meet the planet's worst enemies. And that the Pandora's box that Congress allowed this, and then it dripped down into the state level. And so they see, this is back in 1975. They were going to rewrite the genetic code. In the 1990s, when we heard about genetically modified or GMO foods. This was the when genetic material from one species was put into another species. And then these GMO foods were laced with various chemicals and sent to your grocery store.
Is that the nanotechnology, or even Karen Kingston said the same thing, it hijacks the brain, so much so that it forms new neurons and overcomes your existing brain neurons.
Well, it actually makes synthetic
Yeah.
neurons.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, they're no longer human. So it replaces it kills off the human ones and it replaces it with synthetic or hybrid.
Literal hacking of the brain.
Yes, literal hacking. So engineers have accomplished designing, controlling, programming, cellular, and even molecular behavior. I know it sounds incredible, but they have. So let's see. They have made biological robotic machines for very useful purposes. And one of those is the Green Initiative. But what you need to know, each one of you, is that SynBio makes you, it hollows you out. It's a cavitation event. Basically, they're gutting you like a fish and making you a receptacle for the dead. Dead spirits, demons, other parallel dimension entities. And if you're a Bible believer, you realize that Bible often talks about our body being like a garment there. So you need to know that that's what they're hollowing you out or gutting you to fill you with lots of synthetic stuff. And you would not be human at that point. That's why I say you start out human, then you go to a hybrid, and then you go to a synth or a synthetic life form where there is nothing human in you at all.
But we do see it. And I have to say, there is an acceleration in those who've had the COVID injections. A lot of them, particularly multiple injections, you see there's just like a, I don't even know, Celeste, it's like a film over their eyes or something, just unable to connect with reality. I've even witnessed people, going to cross the street and stopping for a while, like a man in his 30s maybe, and kind of looking around and going, what am I doing? Like, just really out of it. I've seen this with my own eyes.
So this was designed as a neural weapon. It was designed to take out our brain, not only our body, but our brain too. So it's very sad, but there's evil people doing these neural weapon policies.
Yes.
Our bodies are actually being turned into bioweapons. One way this is being done is through the hair bot. Have you ever heard of hair bots, Maria?
No.
Let's just say that shampoo isn't the way that it used to be. I'm here to tell you, so it started in 2015 with the Blueprint for Biosecurity, and then it went to the Apollo program, and then a year ago, in 2022, in April, they came out with the Athena agenda. And the Athena agenda showed you different ways that they were going to get the vaccines into you without you going to the doctor. Okay. It's going to have components that you don't want in your body. We'll go quickly over that because that is a picture of it, actually, just so you can see that it really is. And the title was to establish an interagency committee on global catastrophic risk and for other purposes, like government security. So catastrophic incident means an incident, whether caused by human or natural events, in which multiple levels of the United States, and you could say Australia or any other country because they all have similar critical infrastructure, are destroyed, damaged, interrupted, sufficient magnitude to threaten the health, safety, and general welfare of the civilian populations. An existential threat means the risk of human extinction right there. It suspends the Constitution of the United States due to its language. Whenever you see the words health, safety, and general welfare or well-being, that suspends the Constitution of the
Yes.
United States. And they did do that during COVID.
Yes.
The both of these together, threats that with a varying likelihood can produce consequences severe enough to result in significant harm or destruction to the human civilization at the global scale or lead to human extinction.
And one of their examples is intentional or accidental threats arising from the use and development of emerging technologies. Wow.
Yes. This is biology by design, and this image is from the Ginkgo Bioworks, which programs cells to make everything from food to materials to therapeutics. Remember, it's all everything is broken down to the molecular level, and then it is reassembled. And I can give you from that 2018 military transhumanist unveiling that I went to, they were talking about they were able to take a cadre of soldiers that were in one room, and they were able to break them down just like on Star Trek, the original Star Trek. I don't remember what that device was, but whatever.
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
And then transport them to your living room and reassemble them.
All right, perhaps you saw them across parts of North Texas today. You know, those floating spider webs. We got an awful lot of phone calls and emails from viewers. Fox 4's Dion Anglin is in now to tell us what everybody saw today. It was kind of cool, actually, Dion, once we figured out what it was.
Yeah, it is rather really cool, but nature, curiosity, and a little bit of spider phobia combined today, perhaps as we set out looking in trees and bushes to unravel the mystery web.
I just thought, well, what is that hanging in the sky? I mean, I was like, what is that? I had some on my truck this morning, seen some in a bush.
What if they're coming out of them jumbo jets?
Look at the pole. All the way up. Look at that.
Our cameras were able to spot it everywhere. Pictures of it are all
over social media. The questions and answers range from serious to silly.
I had some on my truck this morning, seen some in a bush.
And they're about 10, 30 feet long.
Fans, but there's this guy named H.P. Lovecraft, who's a very famous American weird fiction author. And he espoused a view which is called cosmicism. And the essence of cosmicism is cosmic indifference. So what he was saying is basically, yes, there are these massively intelligent entities out there, but they're not good, they're not evil. They just don't give a shit about you even in the slightest. The same way that you don't care about an ant is the same way they're not going to care about you.
The World Economic Forum. This is a briefing paper from July 2020, just a couple months ago. And this is saying shaping the future of the Internet of Bodies, new challenges of technology and governance. And I'm going to explain to you why there's a challenge, okay? The Internet of Things, there was a lot of legal proceedings on who owned the data once you put the wearable technology onto your body or into your house. The smart TVs, Alexas, and so forth. It was all gathering data because data is the new currency. You have to understand that. The money, the paper is not real. They are using data for currency. So here's what I ran across now. The Internet of Bodies. Now this was in October 2019, but as you can see, this is issue 1. This is 2019 to 2020. And I'm going to read you the preamble to this, the abstract, okay? So you need to be patient, all right? It says this article introduces the ongoing progression of the Internet of Things into the Internet of Bodies. a network of human bodies whose integrity and functionality rely at least in part on the internet and related technologies such as artificial intelligence. The Internet of Body devices will evidence the same categories of legacy security flaws that have plagued the Internet of Technology devices. However, unlike most IoB technologies will directly, physically harm human bodies. A set of harms courts, legislations, and regulators will deem worthy of legal redress. As such, internet bodies will herald the arrival of some forms of corporate software, new legal and policy battle over integrity of the human body and mind. Did you hear this? Framing this integrity battle in light of current regulatory approaches, this article offers a set of specific innovation-sensitive proposals to bolster corporate conduct safeguards through regulatory agency action, contract tort, and intellectual property, meaning who owns your mind. This companion essay, inspired by the work of Bruno Latour, offers a sliding scale of techno-humanity as a framework for the legal and policy discussion of what it means to be a human in an age where bodies are things connected to the internet. All right?